This is an exciting meeting. We're going to talk about and celebrate all sorts of successes and be really clear about where SBP is. As you'll see from the meeting today, we are succeeding in driving impact with brand new programs, and we're improving and driving impact with work, the type of work that we've done for over 16 years now. The reason we're successful is the people like y'all, working hard, owning the route, curiously connecting, but also I think more than ever, collaborating, doing not just your job, but being curious about other parts of SBP and improving other parts of SBP and sharing with colleagues, clients, and external stakeholders all of what SBP does. You all are doing it terrifically well. As you'll see, we have more people. In 2022, we've hired over 30 new team members, salaried folks, and many of those, if not most, are for new positions. So we're working really hard to drive capacity. I encourage everybody to keep owning the route, but also get to know, be curious, and collaborate with your partners. This is an awesome team, and we're stronger the deeper you all are connected and you know each other and you know what each other are doing. So without further ado, I'll pass it to Kyle and we'll get into the meat of the meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. So you can see our agenda today. We're going to go through Q3 operation highlights, talk about Eastern Kentucky flooding response, do some opportunity housing program updates, of course, AmeriCorps spotlights, welcoming new team members. We'll have Doug and Jen do some communication updates. We'll hear from finance, HR, and of course, shout outs and Q&A. So I would like to invite Sarah Stafford, one of our client service coordinators in Southwest Louisiana, to do a client introduction. So Sarah, you are up.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Stafford, and I'm a client service coordinator here in Southwest Louisiana. Here in Southwest Louisiana, we are about 2 years out from Hurricane Laura, but I will say it's important to note that within that 10 months of Hurricane Laura, we also endured 3 more additional federally declared weather disasters, all during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. I've been gifted with this opportunity to showcase one of our many clients that we have impacted here in the area. So I'd really like to highlight the Hill family, specifically talking about Miss Crystal Hill. She was the point of contact. She's also the mother of 4 children, a set of twins. Her spouse, fun fact, her spouse was homeschooling their 4 children in a cramped FEMA trailer for almost 2 years. This is all while she was pulling the night shift as a full-time RN. You know, just an all-around amazing woman. So I will say I'm going to touch base on Mossville and give a little bit of some historical context. They were initially displaced from Mossville in 2015 when an influential industry brought up their neighborhood. So those that may not know, but Mossville is a historically Black settlement found in 1790 by people who have been enslaved until emancipation. It has a rich and important history, but it's also been destroyed by pollution and some sorts of practices that have led to the increased intensity of climate disasters here in Southwest Louisiana. You may have seen great films and books about Mossville, but if you decide you want to do some more digging, I definitely encourage you to do so. So over the last 20 years, the local industry has actually bought up parcel by parcel of this Mossville community, and the Hills came from Mossville. So that is kind of how they got to Central Lake Charles, because they did purchase a home in 2014, and they worked extremely hard to even pay it off completely in 2015. With that being said, after Hurricane Laura and Delta, they did as many repairs as they could with their FEMA money. However, of course, there were things that still needs to be done. And it's important to note that after Hurricane Delta, many of the materials that they were purchased and stored in the home were destroyed by the unexpected historic flood following that spring 2021. So Crystal expressed that she didn't really see a path forward, and they were scared that they were going to have to possibly buy that tiny FEMA trailer as a permanent housing. They were possibly thinking about selling the home, but Miss Crystal Hill did receive our referral from United Way here in downtown Lake Charles, and SBP Southwest Louisiana was able to complete major works to assist this family of 6 along their path to full recovery. So I guess on a personal and emotional standpoint, there was a lot of tears almost at every step of the process. Intake, start file, close out. Like I said, I'm going to reiterate it again. She is such a great, hardworking, amazing mom and just member of the community. She's a full-time night shift RN. But she expressed that she had no idea how they could have ever made it home without SBP. So I will say I am going to formally invite you all to our welcome home party. That is for Miss Crystal Hill and her family. That's been slated for September 30th from 3 to 5 p.m. at her property. I am going to provide my email address in the chat after I conclude my little presentation, that anyone would like to reach out to me to discuss Miss Crystal Hill's case. Her welcome home party details has already been confirmed by myself and the client and the staff yesterday. We even have a PhD student coming to the welcome home party that's doing her dissertation on disaster recovery, specifically blue roofs. So again, I invite you all. I'll provide my email, even if you want to, know even more about the clients here in Southwest Louisiana. But I just want to thank you all for listening to this truly delightful family story. And as our site's lone client service coordinator, until now, Ms. Pauline has luckily joined us as another client service coordinator. I will say that all of our clients are special to me, but the Hills have really stolen my heart. And again, I am very thankful for this opportunity to be able to share that story with you all.
Fantastic, Sarah. Thank you so much. What a great story. All right. So next up, I would like to invite Angela Calabro, our manager of NGO partnerships, and I believe also Claire Balsley, our director of disaster assistance programs. So Angela, I'll let you kick it off.
Thank you, Kyle. I'll give you guys a little bit of background and then I'll kick it over to Claire. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Angela. I work in our shared department, which is our kind of external facing department that provides trainings and subgrants to different partners and NGOs kind of throughout the country, generally post-disaster. And so after the Eastern Kentucky flooding event that happened in July, we saw a really unique kind of set of circumstances come together. And that was that in 2021, for those of you who aren't familiar, there was in exactly the same counties, almost the same zip codes, a similar catastrophic flood last February. And so the SHARE program had created these really awesome partnerships with rebuild groups and the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky out there. And so then this year, when we had the similar flood, the even worse floods in the same counties and same zip codes, like I mentioned, we were invited into this community for the first time within days of the flash flood. And so that really positioned us well and differently to make a huge impact in this community. And so what came out of that was, for the first time that I'm familiar with, SBP was able to leverage all of the interventions. So that's build, share, prepare, advise, and advocate. All of us went out there in the form of Olivia, Emerson, Claire, and I, and JR. Thank you, everybody who came out there. And we really just listened and assessed like what we could do and how the full force of SBP could support this region after the historic catastrophic floods. And so some of the pictures you see here, you see Emerson on the right, walking in a library that's in a town called Fleming Neon. That's 2 weeks after the floods, and that's their library. And that Emerson's walking through all of there was at least 4 or 5 inches of mud. And this is 2 weeks later. But what I really want to drive home is the ability for all of us to collaborate has allowed us to really leverage Claire with the FEMA appeals, for hundreds of survivors, and I don't want to steal her thunder, so I'll wait to get into that with Claire. But for advise and advocate to be providing on the like elected official and government level all kinds of support. And then from share and prepare and build, just yesterday I had a meeting with the CEO of Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky, who said to me, and almost like quote exactly what she said, was that they couldn't thank SBP enough. The recovery of Eastern Kentucky would be tremendously different without the support of SBP in those immediate days right after the flood. And so because we were familiar with these folks and we came in with all 5 interventions right away, it really allowed us to support the community in a broad way that we haven't before. And so just really wanted to highlight that because I think it's awesome. And with that, I will hand it over to Claire, who will talk a little bit about what we are seeing right now on the ground and what we're doing.
Thanks, Angela. And I apologize to everyone. I literally just landed as the meeting started back home. I was in Kentucky for the past week and a half. So if it's hard to hear me, I'm going to pass the baton back to Angela. I spoke with her yesterday, so she knows everything that I'm going to say anyway. So please let me know if you have difficulties hearing me. There's a lot of work to be done in East Kentucky, and I'm so grateful we are out there. There's a number of survivors in East Kentucky that don't know how to move forward in the FEMA process and are receiving letters that are confusing to read and understand. As of today, we have close to 150 survivors in our queue over this past month of when we entered into East Kentucky for the appeals program. To provide a little reference to that, we have about 40 survivors from the Kentucky tornadoes that we have been working with over the past 5 months. So like Angela stated, all the work we've done prior to the disaster with networking has really helped in our ability to be able to reach out and assist so many survivors in such a short time period. Additionally, through numerous efforts, including being on BOAD calls, we have been connected with Governor Beshear's Office of Constituent Services, who invited us to come back this past week, which is why I was there, to speak to survivors in state-run campgrounds who don't have access to Wi-Fi or good self-service and are not receiving the proper care and attention from FEMA reps that they would like. During this week, I continued on the ground meetings with partner organizations that Angela has previously connected us with. We've done local radio station interviews and PSAs, which have now, the PSAs have been distributed to other radio stations in the area. And one of the greatest successes that was initiated with the Kentucky tornadoes would be our AWS call center, which is being used so much that we're having loads and loads of voicemails because we just can't get to everybody as quickly as possible, and the phones are just ringing off the hook. So it's a huge success for the disaster assistance programs, and I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's been helping us, everyone who's in process of helping us assist all these 150 survivors and more that are coming. At that point, I'll pass it on to JR, but I guess maybe Kyle, who will introduce JR.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Claire, Angela. JR Sanderson is our senior government advisor. JR, are you on?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay. So we know that in all disasters, that after the disaster happens, after the disaster impact, their communities have a really, really hard time transitioning from the disaster itself into recovery, whether that be short-term recovery or long-term recovery. So there's a gap that exists in this time span. FEMA comes in, does what they're going to do, and then there's a gap that occurs. And we're attempting at SBP to close this gap. And based upon a lot of deep conversations with Olivia and Angela, we conceptualized this idea of what we're calling a recovery acceleration week. We're calling it RAW, and we believe that's a pretty good title. Some would disagree, but we think it's a pretty good title across the board. Angela, I see you smiling at me. But we refer to it as RAW, and it's what we're attempting to do here is a couple of things. We needed to be able to obtain a corporate sponsor to pay for all this, and then we needed a local partner. So we went out and we interviewed and found the folks at the Kentucky River Area Development District. They are a local council of government, and they were a willing partner who jumped all over this and said, yes, we'd love to have you. Let's set it up. You can use our facilities. You can use anything we're going to do here. And then finally, we needed to be able to mass our interventions. So this will be a time when SBP is going to mass the capabilities of advise and advocate. It's going to mass share and prepare in order to get there all at one time. So our intent here is to mass these resources from 4 to 7 October. So when you think about what we're going to do for the community, well, we're going to go into the community, and as you can see by the schedule up here, this is our flyer that a lot of folks have put a lot of good work into, and this is widely circulated now in the Eastern Kentucky area, and I'm proud of it. We're really beginning to see some positive registration numbers across the board. So on 4 October, we're going to issue or execute or conduct 2 sessions for elected leaders, public officials, emergency managers, and on the governmental side. And we're going to talk about what we refer to as a needs assessment. A needs assessment is a critical document because after a disaster, we have to know what problem we're trying to solve. Otherwise, we will either solve every problem, attempt to solve every problem, or we'll solve nothing. So we're going to present to the elected officials there a needs assessment. We're going to follow that up with a pitch that I give, transitioning response to recovery. And then we've got a team of experts on the ground, including our very own CEO, who will be joining us up there that week. And we're excited for that. On Wednesday and Thursday of that week, we will conduct disaster case management training. Anyone who has ever heard me talk before knows that I am absolutely passionate about disaster case management. If we don't have good disaster case management up front, we lose the clients and things get bad. It's a bad analogy, but they are the grease that goes in the gearbox. And if the gearbox doesn't have grease, it's going to fail and it's going to explode. And that happens in disasters across America. So we're going to give 2 days of that. That Friday, I'm really excited about because we're going to start off with Claire doing the FEMA application and appeals train the trainer training to a bunch of interested people. And this will help us spread not only our capability across the region, and really the trainer function here I think is absolutely critical. We're going to follow that up with Angela pitching all of our share programs and all the great work we do in the share intervention to include our Toyota production system pitch. And then finally, we're going to bring in Helen and we're going to talk about the prepare program because we know this is going to happen again to Eastern Kentucky. As Claire said, these folks are struggling. This is a bad disaster, and these are some of the most socially vulnerable people that I've seen in years. And we've already heard some disaster stories that I thought I had heard all the bad disaster stories. When you go into Eastern Kentucky, you're going to hear disaster stories that'll curl your toes. So I'm proud of this. I'm proud of the work we're doing. We're going to execute this basically with a mass of us driving up there on the 2nd and 3rd, and we'll be up there through the 7th. After that, we will have long tentacles into the community. So those who want to continue to work with us, that want to continue to have relationships with us across the SBP interventions, we will be able to do some good. And I'm really proud that we're massing these interventions at this particular layout. We had discussed this previously in Western Kentucky, and now we're getting the ability to actually conduct it in Eastern Kentucky. So with that, I yield my time. And if you have any questions at the end, please hit me up for them.
Fantastic, JR. Thank you so much. And all of the FEMA appeals team, thank you. Claire, Angela, thank you. All right, next up, we have Phil Perkins, our Executive Director for Opportunity Housing Development, to talk about our opportunity housing operations updates. Bill, the stage is yours.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, wherever you are. It's a very exciting time for Opportunity Housing now. The department is in transition. We are pushing things to closing, pushing things to completion. We're adding team members so that we soar in 2023 and beyond. Just a brief update. I'll start with Houston first. In Houston, we're actually in the process of kicking off our Tabor Street apartments, which will be a 7-unit, what we call missing middle development, which is basically code speak for an infill development in an established Houston neighborhood. The units will be 1 to 2 bedroom affordable units. We're going to kick off, officially commence construction on Monday with the City of Houston Community Development Department, who partnered with us on this development. We expect the development to complete by the second quarter of 2023. And we're excited because we think that this model of infill multifamily housing, affordable housing, can be replicated across Houston and other locations. What I would call the sister project, which is Old Spanish Trail, also in Houston. The developments are essentially identical in their design. Will still be appealing to that same missing middle market, another infill established Houston neighborhood. That project is in permitting now. We expect that within 60 to 90 days, we'll also be under construction on that development as well. And we expect to be completed by the third quarter of 2023. Also, we have homes in process in Houston as well, single family homes. We have 3-bedroom, two bath, single family for sale homes on lots which we acquired from the Houston Land Bank. And so we have some of those homes that are currently in process with the City of Houston now, 3 homes, single family homes. And we expect those to actually come out of processing in Houston in the coming 30 to 60 days. And then we expect also to commence construction on those during the fourth quarter. The other 4 from that bunch that we acquired from the Houston Land Bank actually are scheduled to complete construction tomorrow. So we're very excited. We're very excited about the completion of these homes. We expect these to be listed shortly. So we're actually in the preparation stages. We'll go into the preparation stages once we have certificates of occupancy. We'll go into the preparation stages to get these houses listed and on the market and hopefully sold sometime during the fourth quarter. As I move over to NOLA, the big development we're working on is our St. Claude Gardens 2 development. It's 39 total units, and it's comprised of 2 and 3 bedroom duplex rentals, and we have 1 single family 3-bed, 2-bath rental in this offering, which is located in the lower 9th Ward. We are actually preparing to go through financial close on this development. All of the financing sources are in place, and we expect to start construction on this one. We think we'll start construction probably November of this year, if everything goes according to plan, and we expect those to be completed by the third quarter of 2023. Also, homes in process in NOLA as well. We have 5 homes in process, and that essentially means homes that are actually at some point in the permitting process, and we'll be expecting the permits to come out so that we can commence construction. So we have 5 homes in that stage. We expect construction to commence on those 5 homes. Those are single family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath for sale residences. We expect construction to commence the fourth quarter. Those 5 that are in process are in L9 and the Algiers neighborhoods. In terms of homes under construction, we also have 5 homes under construction that are also 3-bed, 2-bath, single family units. All of those homes are expected to deliver this year by December. And those will again be single family for sale units. Those units are in northeast NOLA East rather. Pontchartrain Park, and in the Florida neighborhoods. We have 2 near completion now. Actually, in Pontchartrain Park area, there are also 3-bed, 2-bath, single-family homes, and we actually expect those to complete probably over the course of the next month. And then during the 4th quarter, we will also be listing those units for sale as well. Lastly, we have 1 home for sale that's actually on the market now in Pontchartrain Park. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, single-family home. That home is being actively marketed now. We have interested parties looking at that home. So hopefully we will get those contracted, and this home will be sold also during the 4th quarter. Next slide, please. In terms of our pipeline, we have an interesting pipeline here, and I'll start with a project. Actually, I've been with SBP now for about 5 months, and I was so lucky that Liz entrusted me with kind of taking the lead on this development. She had begun discussions with Terrebonne Parish in Southeast Louisiana, and then I've kind of picked up those discussions and run with it and had multiple discussions with the parish officials. We think we have the potential here to do up to 120 units, which would be 3-bed, 2-bath, single family for sale, 2 to 3 bedroom duplexes, and possibly 1 to 2 bedroom apartment rentals. The parish is currently in discussions with the current landowner to kind of come to an agreement about how he might exit the lots. And then also the parish is actually actively pursuing a rezoning of the project on our behalf. This is really unheard of, but they're actually doing this on our behalf, even though we're not officially in application yet. But they're actually rezoning 48 lots to accommodate duplexes to make room for us when we decide to proceed. So officially, we expect that the parish will actually put out what we call a NOFA later in the 4th quarter, which we will respond to. We're currently in the process of evaluating the project feasibility, so we refine our final product offering. And we're also looking at the different funding sources that we might tap into. The good news is the parish has funds which it does control. Those funds are in the range of about $5 million. I was on the phone with the head of Human Housing and Human Services, who I work with closely there, and she was very excited because she indicated that at least $5 million that the parish controls could be earmarked for this project. So we're going to look at other sources that we might use, including tax credits, other NOFA funds, etc., and debt, to try to put together a project that meets the needs of the area. What I will say is that there's a real huge need for affordable housing in Terrebonne Parish. 2 of the other major affordable housing developments were so damaged by the last hurricanes that people have been displaced into trailers and other, I would say, undesirable housing conditions. Also, they've had a large elderly population, which was also displaced, many of whom are in trailers and other accommodations. So there's a big need to provide housing there with speed. I think that if all goes well, we should be within probably by the 3rd quarter of next year, we can be in position, I think, to be in a financial closing stage or construction stage there. Also, in Houston, we're pursuing lots now through the Houston Land Bank. As I mentioned before, they had provided some of our other previous lots. We responded to a request that they had for their round 7 of lot offerings. We would be also, again, developing 3-bed, 2-bath, single-family houses. And we're expecting to have feedback on that process if we were awarded those lots by November. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that we also get those 5. And lastly, we're actually in the process now. I'm actually in New Orleans today looking at lots. NORA, the New Orleans Redevelopment Authority, has put out a request for applicants for 2022. And they've got 254 lots across New Orleans. We're focusing primarily on the lower 9th Ward area. The RFA allows us to either do single family residences for sale or also multifamily residences as well, which we can also lease. So I think what we'll end up with, if we're fortunate to get the 20, we're trying to target 20 lots that we can acquire. If we're fortunate enough to get the 20, we think we'll either end up doing a combination of 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single family for sale, or like I said before, we'll end up perhaps with a duplex rental projects rather. So that application actually is due. We're working on this now. This application is due for submission with Nora by this coming Monday. So we're trying to wrap up the lot selection and wrap the application up so that we're hopefully awarded those lots or some portion thereof later this year. And we're actively pursuing various funding sources that we identify. If we think a funding source is a source we can identify, we're going to go after it if it makes sense. And we're actually actively going to pursue acquisition opportunities. Again, if they make financial fees, if they make financial sense, we'll evaluate those as they come. Lastly, if you look at the bottom of this particular slide, on the bottom left there, I just wanted to point out that that is a rendering of our Tabor and Old Spanish Trail 7-family apartment units here, actually in Houston. And as you can see from the rendering, they're very much to scale. They're not high density. They kind of blend in nicely from a massing standpoint and a roofline standpoint with the existing neighborhood. So those two we're excited about, as I mentioned before. In the middle, that's a rendering of one of our other houses in Houston, 6813 Bethune, which is actually a photo of the master bedroom. As I mentioned, these houses are completing in Houston. They're supposed to be done by tomorrow. I've also included on the right there the photo of, again, that house in Houston that should be officially completed by tomorrow. So I thank you all for your time, and I'm happy to answer questions at the end as requested. So thank you all for your time.
Awesome, Phil. Thank you so much. Such awesome work and just great progress in our opportunity housing sector. Thank you. All right, so next up, we have Thomas Corley, our Chief Recovery Officer, who will give us a build update and some highlights. Thomas?
Thank you, Kyle. Hey, folks, I'm going to move super quick, even though there's a ton that we could talk about as it relates to build and our progress to date. So first, I want to highlight where we are just from a production standpoint. So at the end of August, we had rebuilt 376 homes. When we budgeted late last year, early this year for where we'd be, we thought we'd be at 372. So we're just ahead of where we anticipated. We're 65% of our way towards our goal of hitting 575 rebuilt homes by the end of the year. For reference, and I know that past is not the best indicator or health meter for where we are today, but at this time last year, we were 45 projects behind. So the fact that we're ahead of schedule just speaks to the dedication, the work, and the investment that the wide team is making day over day and week over week. So I really, really want to call to it and applaud everyone who is supporting our build program. I quickly want to highlight a few of the wins that have kind of crossed my view in the last couple of months here. There's a lot to celebrate right now. And as we're getting into the fourth quarter, which historically, for those who have been here for a year or two, we know that fourth quarter can bring a bit of a frenzied state in finishing strong. But I want to take a quick look back and just call out some of the tremendous wins that we've seen across our operating sites. In Houston in particular, Alex, who has stepped in to help manage our volunteer department, has landed 4 individual groups that are going to come out and volunteer with us consistently week over week, which is exactly what we want to see in being able to train a volunteer group and then reap the benefits of that training. And so we're seeing awesome volunteer numbers in Houston through the end of the year. And then I want to call out our AmeriCorps members who have just started. And really, I could say this for every operating site, but for the whole AmeriCorps recruitment team, the quality of members that you're adding to the already quality members we have here at SBP is just outrageous. But we've added a few really strong members in Houston that are going to help propel us and bring us to the end of the year. What's super exciting in Houston too is we've got 10 jobs that'll complete in September, which will put us only 6 away from our goal of 70 homes rebuilt in Houston. So Houston crushing it. Southwest, a special shout out to Sarah, who really helped set the stage and the tone of this all team here and centering us on the clients that we're serving. Without a doubt, the outreach strategy that Laura and client services and the wider team is executing is getting us at the doorstep of those who have been forgotten and are not served in a community that often is not represented well in the disaster recovery space. And so outreach is just incredible in Southwest. We just closed in at $1.3 million that John and John's team has been able to get into Southwest Louisiana. So just tremendous. In Southeast and in NOLA, we're at 62 jobs banked for the year. Again, past is not an indicator of what we can be or a measure of health, but we completed 19 jobs out of New Orleans in New Orleans last year. So to be at 62 is just incredible and speaks to the team and the leadership that Kenneth is building and exercising on the daily. And again, the AmeriCorps talent that we just continue to bring in New Orleans is so affirming that we're heading in the right direction. Florida, Pamela and Pamela's team has muscled out a bunch of new builds that we're starting for individuals that have not yet been totally healed from Michael. What's more is that Pamela and Pamela's team is leading the way in quality. When we measure quality in construction, it's not just aesthetics, it's are we completing on time and on budget? And throughout the entire year, Pamela and Mackenzie and Stephen and the team have helped Florida lead the pack in the on time and on budget. So incredible, Florida. Puerto Rico, Edgardo and Jomari and the team continues to harvest this amazing relationship with Habitat, and they just reinvested in SBP for our 2023 program, bringing confidence and assurance that will continue to serve folks in Puerto Rico. What's more is that we have some members that are deep into their 3rd term or just about to start a 3rd term, and even more those who are into and starting their 4th term as AmeriCorps members. So I just want to call to Jorge and Jorge, who are in 3rd, Luis and Monica and Luz that are all in or getting to their 4th term is just a testament to service. Also for those who are watching, there's a tropical storm that's coming through Puerto Rico this weekend. Edgardo is exercising incredible leadership in keeping the team safe and our assets in place. So calling to that. And then finally, South Carolina, they spent $800,000 in their community last month, ruthlessly owning their program and working through every single obstacle that's presented to them. But I think what's more is the culture that Rick and the team are building is one that perfectly embodies the mom rule, always putting that client first, but also in how we're treating our team when our team needs a little bit of support. And so I'm just so inspired by what we're winning in South Carolina. And last but never least is the Bahamas that surpassed 500 homes rebuilt. Again, Andy won a little bit of money, Energizer Bunny. We're going to keep going in the Bahamas and build a bit more into 2023. And then Cam has helped facilitate this PVC cabinet delivery to New Orleans that I know a bunch of people have seen, and into Houston that's going to introduce resilient cabinets into our rebuilt homes. So there's so much to celebrate, y'all. I hope you feel proud for how far we've come this year and feel the confidence that I feel that we're going to end this year strong, helping another couple hundred families get home before the holidays and before the year is out. So thank you everyone who's investing in build day in and day out. I'm proud to be on your team. With that, I'll give it back to Kyle.
Awesome, Thomas, thank you. And I always just love reading all the chats. And if you haven't pulled up the chats, just incredible. Great. All right, so next up, I would like to invite Viviana Ramirez, our HR and AmeriCorps Program Manager in Puerto Rico, to go through some AmeriCorps member spotlights.
Thank you, Kyle. So yes, I'm Viviana Ramirez, HR and AmeriCorps Program Manager in Puerto Rico. So when I was hired in 2018, I felt confident that I will, could hire the best team of AmeriCorps members in Puerto Rico. As I started understanding the AmeriCorps program, I had to kind of change my strategy. You see, at the first time I was looking for candidates to match like all the technical and all the requirements that a certain position entitles. So my eyes were open, thanks to Mike and Megan, to really understand AmeriCorps. And now I was meeting members with a passion for service, with empathy and a desire to listen to our clients. Members who were not intimidated by vulnerable communities. And if faced with adversities, will persevere. So I'm proud to share that SBP has 61 active AmeriCorps members that promote these great values. And with a proud heart, we want to spotlight two members who are strengthening our communities through SBP AmeriCorps program. So I'm going to leave Jameson from Houston to share with us.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, y'all. I'm Jameson. I'm a project lead in Houston. And when thinking about why I chose to serve, I remember I had just graduated college and I knew I wanted to do something meaningful. I wanted to do something where I'm making a meaningful direct impact on people's lives. I realized that I was fortunate enough in my life to where it's been pretty smooth sailing for me. And I see those around me who are struggling, and I know I've got a lot to give, so I wanted to give. I also want to develop as a leader for myself and for my professional career. Having leadership experience is obviously great for yourself and also for your resume. And I wanted to learn real life skills. I had zero construction experience whenever I joined AmeriCorps, and I've already used my skills that I've learned in real life. I had a friend whose mom fell through the ceiling in the attic. I went over there, fixed it for her. And even just small stuff like that, it's still giving back in some sort of way. And for what it means for me, service, I feel like service kind of reflects on how humanity should act in general, how we should treat each other. If you're like in a position to where you can help someone who needs help, especially those who need it the most and who are, as we help, like people who are near their breaking point, those people often have tried everything. They run out of options and they think it's over for them. And then people like us can help them out, and it's life-changing. I've seen it myself. I grew up in Houston. I saw people who were displaced from their homes for years, and it completely changes the rest of their life, their day-to-day lives. So I know we're making a good impact, and it's really good for my heart and for my soul. And I feel it's important to create more of a we rather than me in the community and in the world. I think the world needs people just helping each other out more, and more empathy and understanding. And rather than looking for reasons to not like and not help someone, we should look for reasons to help someone. And as for my most impactful moments since I've been here about 5 months. And what I can say is whenever I arrive to a new house and I see the condition that it's in, realize that it's completely unlivable, especially we've had people who are elderly, who have uneven floors to walk on. Like no elderly person should have to deal with that in their lives. People who are taking care of families, taking care of kids with special needs, like they don't need this extra stress in their life from a natural disaster that they had nothing to do with. So seeing the conditions they're in is really impactful to me. And then finally, whenever we have the welcome home parties and we get to see, their faces bright up, they get to see their new home, they realize everything's going to be okay. That's really impactful for me, seeing the end product and getting them back in their homes. And overall, I'm really happy that I joined AmeriCorps. I feel like the goals that I came in here with have already been fulfilled. I've developed my leadership skills, I've developed personal skills, and I've got to see the impact for myself in getting these people back in their homes. And it's been a great experience for me.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jameson. All right, and next up we have Patrick Smith, who is a project lead in New Orleans. Patrick?
Greetings. Can everybody hear me? I can't see you if you can.
I can hear you.
All right, perfect. My name is Pat. I am from Cheverly, Maryland. I am here in New Orleans, and behind us is one of the opportunity houses here on Piety Street. I joined AmeriCorps this term because I really wanted to move to New Orleans, but because this is a place where so many people have been displaced and so many disasters have hit this area, I didn't want to just be another transplant in this community. I wanted to say I contributed something before I just moved in here and displaced someone else. And this seemed like the perfect thing to do, is to build homes for New Orleanians and people who have been affected by these natural disasters, and to build these opportunity houses. I didn't know that that's what I would be doing initially, but this has been an amazing experience. And I feel like the most impactful moments, because these houses are not owned by anyone yet, like, it's very different than working on an existing house and you get to meet the owners and get to talk to those people. But I have really enjoyed meeting the community members around the opportunity houses. So like, there's a lady who lived right next door to this opportunity house, and like, I guess her foot was broken or something, and like, she was trying to get up the stairs, and like, another AmeriCorps member and I just like carried her up the stairs to her house. And that like started a conversation. So like, getting to know the people of the community around this area that we are actively helping and actively making better and more resilient. And then that way, so when the person who does buy this house and they move in here, like, their neighbors can say, yeah, I talked to those AmeriCorps folks that helped build your house. And like, you know, I think that's really cool, and that's a really good thing. And I also feel there's a project that we share the building with. They're called Green Corps, and they do like a 3-month, 4-month term, and they get all of these construction certificates. And they've come out and volunteered with us. Not that I don't like the volunteers from outside of New Orleans, but to me, the most impactful thing is to have the people who live here, the people who have been here, kind of pitching in to help with the things that SBP is already doing. I think that speaks volumes, because, you know, a lot of people who come and volunteer can fly down and they have the funds to do all of these things. But when the people who live here are actively volunteering with us and actively coming out to help us and trying to learn more about what SBP does, those have been the most impactful moments. And I'm really grateful for our teammates, Nick and Betsy. We're all here. Nick is one of the people who has taught me quite a lot, so I'm very grateful that they are here. And I'm very grateful for Robert, who is like a construction wizard and knows so much, because I've learned so much construction things because I knew nothing coming in. And I feel like I could put together some things. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate SBP. Thank you.
Awesome, Pat, team, thank you so much. Fantastic. All right. So we are going to take a 5-minute break. During that break period, we're going to have some trivia, some SBP trivia. You're welcome to play along. Or if you need to use the restroom or grab a drink of water, whatever the case may be, please do that. So without further ado, let's see if I can get this to work. All right, SBP trivia, here we go. The rules are simple. There are a few rules. You can type in an answer, you can yell out an answer. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. Now, I am trying to navigate the screen and it's challenging, but okay, there we go. All right, so first question, and remember the rules, there really aren't any rules. When was SBP founded? What year was SBP founded? Sullivan, I saw it first. Reese May, 1987. Close, no cigar. Yes, 2006 is the correct answer. Everybody who said 2006, and sure, why not? Reese, you all get a point. All right, number 2. And this one's a pretty tough one. How many states and or territories has SBP worked with through all 5 of our interventions to date? How many states and or territories has SBP worked with through all 5 interventions to date? Haven't seen any correct answer. Oh, Sullivan, Mike Sullivan got it. It is 8. 8 states and a territory. Fantastic, Mike. You get a point. Bobby, sure, why not? You get a point too. Number 3. This one's probably an easier one. Americans are most at risk of being impacted by what type of disaster or peril? What type of disaster? Andy, Caitlin, points. That is true. It is flooding. Brian, natural. Yes, that is also true. Natural disasters. Agreed. All right, points to everybody who responded. Courtney, you get a point too. Number 4, how many values does SBP have? Mike, Brittany, points, absolutely. That is true, 8 values. All right, can we name all of the values in the chat? Yes, Mom Rule, own your route. Yokoten, Curious Connector. Oh, Kristen, all right, coming through with the time matters, constructive discontent. Did we already get steered through turbulent? Unleash it. There we go. Think that is it. Yep, got it. Nice. Good work, y'all. Number 5 is multiple choice. This year, SBP has achieved the following milestones. A, 5,500 housing units built or rebuilt by SBP and share partners, developed by Opportunity Housing and mucked and gutted. B, $9 million in home equity preserved, on track to reach our $25 million goal in 2022. C, staff increases to over 100 people, 100 staff members and still growing. Or D, all of the above. Saw lots of early answers and everyone is correct. It is D, it's all of these things. Pretty incredible there. All right, number 6, it's a tough one. Bonus question. What are the 3 key drivers in SBP's 5-year growth strategy or business plan? Shape, Build, Prepare is not it. All right, I can ask again. Oh, Andy. Andy nailed it. Big bets, partnerships, and technology. Great work, Andy. All right, so as is tradition, Mike Sullivan wins for some reason. He got some, no, I'm just kidding. Everybody who played is a winner, so I just want to thank everyone for playing. We will give 1 more minute, and then we will be back on track with the rest of the meeting. And whoever said that the music is going to haunt their dreams, yes, I agree with you completely. All right, so if you can hear this, about 30 seconds, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All righty. So I am proud to introduce Courtney Matthews, who's our HR generalist and someone who I am sure many people here have worked very closely with, to introduce our new staff members since our last all team meeting. So Courtney, I will let you intro this slide.
Sure. I'm gonna kick it over to our new staff members. As you just saw in the trivia, which is awesome, we are over 100 staff members. And this time last year, it was like, maybe even half of that, 50, 60. So, woo, we're on fire. So I'm gonna have the new staff members introduce themselves. I've asked them just to share, you see their name and their position, but since we're all over now, I'm gonna have them just share where they're located. And I asked them to prepare just a quick fun question. And the question I gave them was, if you could own any exotic animal that you want, no rules, what would that be? So if you guys just wanna go in order, and Jessica, we will start with you. Camera's on.
Hi, everyone. I am Jessica BB, and I am new to the National AmeriCorps team as the AmeriCorps recruitment partner. I am from Chincoteague Island, Virginia originally, but I'm coming to you today from Danville, Virginia, Southern Virginia, right on the border of North Carolina. And if I could own any exotic animal, it would definitely be a baby elephant that never grew up.
Awesome, Jessica, thank you. Vanessa.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Vanessa Gibson. I'm currently the warehouse manager here in Houston, originally from Austin, Texas. And while I did just get a fur baby, if I could have any animal, it would be a wolf, a pack of wolves, to be exact.
Thank you. We could just go in order. Hannah?
Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah. I'm the new Communications and Marketing Associate. I'm from New York. I'm coming to you from New York City. And if I had to own an exotic animal, I think I'd have to go with a pet monkey. I feel like we'd have a genuine bond. And I think that if I ever needed anything from a high shelf, it would get me covered. So I have to go with monkey.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm also one of the Communications and Marketing Associates. I'm also from New York City, but I'm coming to you from Los Angeles. I just moved out here a couple of weeks ago. If I were to own an exotic animal, I think if I lived somewhere really cold, I would love a few huskies. And they could like pull me in like a sled or something, or like cross country skiing. I feel like that would be really awesome.
Hi, my name. Sorry, guys. My name is Jasmine Hardina. I'm in New Orleans, and if I had an animal, it would be a lemur.
Oh, Madeline, she's our intern, and I believe she works Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. So Matthew, you can go ahead and take your turn.
Awesome. I'm Matthew Wheeler. I am the Resilience and Recovery Fellow in Lake Charles. I'm still waiting for Reese to make me a jersey that says #1 because I was the first hire. If I could have any pet animal, it's a tie between a Capuchin monkey, which are adorable, or a penguin, because I just like the idea of being able to say I have a pet penguin. So those are my either or.
Oh, and one other thing, Joseph is in a training, I believe, today. So he could not make it, but he's our Director of Business Development and Partnerships on JR and Reese's team, I believe. So Brandy, can you now take it away?
Hi, everybody. I'm Brandy Dubos. I'm the new Opportunity Housing Associate. I'm located in Texas. Houston, Texas area. And if I could have any exotic animal, I think it would be a lion. I think they're pretty cool.
Giselle may not be on the call. I know Claire and the FEMA team are.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Oh, I was about to say,
Yes.
I know how it is right now for y'all. All right, thanks.
My name is Giselle Palma. I'm the Senior Management Disaster Assistance Programs based out of Elkridge, Maryland. It was kind of a tough one to choose. If I could have any exotic animal, it would either be between a red panda or a capybara.
Hi, I'm Helen Wiley. I'm our Disaster Preparedness Program Director. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and very much still think of myself as a Midwesterner at heart, but I currently live in Philadelphia. If I could own any exotic animal, I think it would be either a red panda or a sand cat, which are quite cute, but I'm not sure either would be good house pets.
Okay, my name is Julio Garcia. I'm warehouse manager here in New Orleans, from New Orleans. And my exotic pet would be a long-tailed parrot.
Hey everybody, my name is Jesse Venable. I'm a Louisiana native and I just started as the office manager at the New Orleans location as well as an executive assistant to our executive team. I had to think really hard about this question. I thought it was a little challenging actually, but I think if I had to pick an exotic animal to have as a pet, I'd like a jackrabbit because I think it's cool and I like that it's a portmanteau of two different animals. So yeah, thank y'all.
Thank you guys. I really love how much thought y'all put into this for us. So thank you and welcome again to everyone. All new staff members. Kyle, I'll swing it back to you.
All right, thank you, Courtney, and thanks all. 13 new staff members since June, which is just phenomenal, amazing. All right, so now would love to introduce our new AmeriCorps members, and I'll invite the AmeriCorps program managers to announce the members. So Ian, Leanne, and Viviana, Laura, I will let y'all go first. Ian, if you want to take the first go around, that would be great.
Sure. Yeah. So in Florida, we hired Angelina Hines back in late June to be a client services coordinator, and then recently Hunter Turnmeyer signed up for a second term with us. So both of them are crushing it over there in Panama City as client services coordinators. We also got Raven Taylor. She's a supply and logistics coordinator at our placement site, which is a partnering nonprofit, the restoration team in Houston, Texas. So she's serving there on her own as the only AmeriCorps member on site as a supply and logistics coordinator. She was also hired back in late June, and she's just doing amazing work. And then new this week, they're just finishing, actually this call is part of their orientation, but Pauline Quabo is hired on at Southwest Louisiana as a client services coordinator. And then we also have Caresha Brooks as a construction coordinator in Lake Charles as well. And I just have to say, I'm super excited about all of these new members. Either some of them are brand new this week and some of them I've had one-on-ones with this week as well. And I realized, I was like, you know, if I was a client and my first interaction was with any of these members, I would feel in such good hands. And yeah, I would just feel safe and like my future is bright. So really excited about this new team that we have on all of our sites. And Leanne, I think you're up next.
Hello, everyone. So in Houston, we are super excited that the AmeriCorps team is expanding. Our team is amazing, like Thomas mentioned, all the teams are. We have Haya Izata as our construction coordinator, Isaiah Flowers as project lead, and Madeline Sams as our client services coordinators. Like Ian mentioned, we have members who are starting this week. So all of them three, this is part of their orientation, and we're super happy to have them rounding out their teams. We have Catherine Green as a project lead who recently started as well. Sierra Green, volunteer coordinator, and no, they are not related. It was just a cool casualty. We have Warel Slater as Vanessa's first supply and logistics, so we're really happy to have him here, and Michael Simmons as our construction coordinator as well. Again, we're extremely happy they decided to do service with SBP Houston, and all of our volunteers, all of our clients, everyone's happy to have them here, so thank you.
Thanks, Leanne. Laura.
Thank you. Hey everyone, my name is Laura. I'm the HR and AmeriCorps Program Manager for New Orleans. Get your hands together to clap for and celebrate our new Orleans AmeriCorps members. Every single one of them is fantastic. We have Theo, who is construction coordinator. We have Sam, who is our client service coordinator. And Sam came in as a client service coordinator, just have to say, after about a month of not having any client service coordinator in New Orleans, and he has been crushing it since. So thank you, Sam. We have Nick, who is a returning member, Disaster Corps project lead. Nick, thank you for your service, your second term. Then we have Chelsea, who is our newest client service coordinator. We have Betsy, who is our Disaster Corps project lead. We have Sin, who is our volunteer coordinator. And then our two newest members who are still going through orientation, who will finish up today, Lakeisha and Ariana, both project leads. So again, please give your hands up for a really well-rounded, amazing team of individuals.
Awesome. Laura, thank you and welcome. Viviana, do you want to take us home with Puerto Rico members?
So many members and super excited. We have Meisha as a project lead. Christian Vicente, he started second term as PL. Denise started a second term as a construction coordinator. Luis has, this is his third term as supply and logistics. Carlos Cruz, Rosa, and Jaime started all together on a cohort for all those PLs first term. Marta and Andrea started, I know her name's not there, but she started as well. Marta and Andrea started on August. So I have Abimari, Sarai that started their second term, and Chris, Joanny, Jose, and Bobby just started on September 1st, our last members for the grant 21-22. Super excited to have them all, and they're just really making a huge impact. So kudos to all.
Great. Awesome. Welcome. So many new members. This is fantastic. Welcome to SBP. Thank you so much, y'all. All right. So next up, I would like to invite our National Communications Manager, Doug Kalajian, to talk about AmeriCorps creative submissions.
Hi, everyone. I first want to say welcome to all the new AmeriCorps members out there across the country. The work you're doing to dedicate yourselves to helping shrink the time between disaster and recovery for people in need, it's extremely important. And on behalf of everyone at SBP, I want to give you a warm welcome and say thank you for your service. While you're out there on the front lines of disaster recovery, some of you may find yourselves expressing what you experience in creative ways, whether that's art, music, dance, writing, photography, videography, whatever your talent is, we would love for you to share it with us so we can show our followers what AmeriCorps service is all about. A link to submit your creative work will follow in the chat. And you can see at that next slide there, Kyle, please. Perfect. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Next Tuesday marks the 5-year anniversary of Hurricane Maria. To commemorate the life-changing impact that SBP Puerto Rico has made on disaster survivors to date and highlight the work that still needs to be done, Edgardo, Nathaniel, Adrian, Luis, and I teamed up to create this video. It is a journey into the municipality of Yabucoa, where we speak to the mayor and visit a past client named Renee, who lives with a serious health condition. This video is part of a larger storm anniversary campaign designed to highlight the importance of long-term disaster recovery, while also celebrating the impact that our donors, staff, partners, AmeriCorps members, and volunteers have made on disaster-affected communities. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
SBP y otras organizaciones que Dios nos brindó la oportunidad de que llegaran a Yabucoa, hicieron el trabajo que las agencias del gobierno central no hicieron. Ayudarnos en el proceso de llevarle aliento a las familias que perdieron sus hogares o que sus hogares fueron duramente afectados, que quedaron desamparados. Organizaciones como SBP nos dieron la mano para que hoy la gente se sienta más segura, tengan un hogar mucho más seguro. Y para nosotros, de verdad, siempre van a vivir en nuestra alma y nuestros corazones, porque la verdad que nos ayudaron a levantarnos. Y cuando hablo de levantar, no es construir un edificio, es construir un hogar, que para mí es mucho más importante.
Bueno, me llamo René Arroyo Moctezuma. Bueno, hace como 35, 36 años estaba trabajando en la isla y nos detuvimos en una luz y nos hicieron un kayaking y me dieron un tiro a mí en el carro. Bueno, es difícil, no es tan fácil. Cuando el huracán María, sí estuve aquí y estuve solito. Y eso era un monstruo. Para mí fue una experiencia, la primera vez, porque había visto tormenta, pero no como de esa magnitud. Empezó a haber liqueo, la pintura la despellejó. Tuvimos como casi un año sin. Entonces, ¿cómo supe de SBP? Bueno, me ayudaron en mucho, y porque yo no iba a poder costear lo que había que hacer. Bueno, quiero darle muchas gracias por todo lo que hicieron por mí. Me siento seguro, y con lo que hicieron, pues estoy bien agradecido. De corazón.
Gracias.
Congratulations and thank you to the entire Puerto Rico team for owning the route and helping to bring Renee home. Your contributions do not go unnoticed. And on that note, Jennifer is here to share a few insights into how well our Storm Anniversary campaign is performing and resonating with our audience. Take it away, Jen.
Thanks, Doug. As Doug explained, on August 22nd, we launched a Storm Anniversary messaging campaign with the goal to highlight ongoing rebuilding efforts in each operational site and position the organization as a long-term recovery resource. I want to take a moment to recognize all the social media managers, of whom there are many, for being curious connectors and producing their own amazing content that coincides with this national campaign, helping to increase our reach, align our vision, and ensure SBP's online presence reflects how we are a trusted name in disaster recovery. I just want to run through some quick analytics with you guys. You'll see this marketing funnel here at the top. Just for reference, these are all organic numbers. There was no paid support put behind these just yet. Our paid campaigns are actually currently running, but we garnered over 10,000 video views, over 774 engagements, and 56 link clicks, which is, if you look at our entire social media following, including all of our platforms, is roughly under 50,000 people. So these are really amazing numbers to garner just from a campaign that launched only a few weeks ago. So in addition to impressive organic social media results, we also had some national news outlets pick up the client and organizational stories, amounting to 1.4 million potential users reached. And you'll see in the small little photo right here, This article reached over 7.7 thousand users in the Houston market alone, just showcasing that our stories and the work that we do does matter and that it's being seen. We have a ton of new awesome content on our social channels. So I encourage each and every one of you to check out our Instagram to see these compelling stories that are told by SBP people. Please give us a follow. I encourage you also to keep an eye out for future content, to like, comment, and share our posts. Please know you're helping to increase our reach, which helps us to attract more donations, volunteers, future AmeriCorps members, and high quality staff.
Awesome. Fantastic, Jennifer. Thank you so much. All right. So next, I would like to invite Nicole, our finance manager, to speak about some exciting finance updates.
Hi, everyone. I will be very quick because I know policies are super exciting, but we are in the process of sending out the new policies to everybody. They're going to come to you via an Adobe Sign email. Each year, we go over SBP's policies and we update them based on feedback that we get from you guys, as well as guidance from leadership. So because SBP uses government funds, we are required to maintain and follow certain procedures. The purpose of these documents is to make sure that everyone knows how these processes work. We have 7 policies going out via the Adobe Sign. The procurement policy, which is what you use to know your approval limit. It talks about acquiring and purchasing construction and non-construction goods or services. We have the credit card policy and the expense reimbursement policy. These provide guidance on appropriate business expenses and how to submit reconciliations and reimbursement requests. We also have the mileage policy, which covers what mileage usage is reimbursable and how to submit for reimbursement. Effective yesterday, so travel from September 14th and beyond, the mileage rate will increase from 58.5 cents per mile to 62.5 cents per mile. That's the new IRS rate. And we're committed to using the IRS rate going forward. Usually that only changes once a year, but because of gas prices, they did a mid-year change on us. So we're going to increase that right now. We also have a travel policy that outlines appropriate business travel expenses and business travel per diem. Business travel per diem is different than deployment per diem. Deployment per diem can be found in the deployment manual. We have a fraud, waste, and abuse and a conflict of interest policy. These are especially important to SBP as a nonprofit, and we are required as a spender of federal funds to have these policies.
Great.
Oh, just a couple more things. I know you might not be traveling right now, but one day you might travel in your role. So that's why we have everybody sign everything. You may feel like they don't all pertain to you at this moment in time, but we do want everybody to review and read them and let us know if they have any questions. Throughout the year, the policies can be found on the SPP employee portal and on Google Drive in the accounting portal folder. So if you ever need them, we can share you on that folder so you get at the top of your inbox. And if you have any questions about the policies as you're going through them, just reach out to me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole. Very much appreciated. All right, next up is a Salesforce update. We have Salesforce updates, some HR updates, shout outs, Q&A, and then we will close the meeting. But Keith, our CFO, is going to lead us through some Salesforce updates.
Hey guys, hope you can hear me. It's with great excitement and anticipation that I get to formally announce the go live date of Salesforce, which is a 6-month plus project that we've been going on, that we've been working through. The tentative go live date is Monday, October 10th. We were just working through a few data and some testing issues, and so it shouldn't shift significantly from here. But I do want to take a moment, speaking of shout outs, to formally thank personally and on behalf of the organization, Shelton, Brittany, and Alicia. You guys have poured your heart and soul into this. We are excited about what it's going to offer. I also want to thank the countless other departmental leads and others that have provided input to this point. I really believe this is going to be a success. And if you can all reflect on our 5-year strategy, we committed as an organization to increasing the technology that existed here at SBP. This is an example of where we're doing that. It has the potential, obviously, to have transformational impact in all of our day-to-day lives, particularly with development, marketing, client services, volunteerism. I would say, having been through these types of upgrades in the past, success is not measured by whether it succeeds in a go live or not. It's really the commitment that the organization is going to make in using it. And so while certainly the senior leadership is on board, we need each of you to be on board and to use the system as it's been designed, and or if it's not functioning the way you think it should, escalating that. And so telling us where you're challenged, where there's inefficiencies. Obviously, there's a lot of input that kind of got to this point, but the constructive discontent that you all bring to the table we'll need here in this as we move forward. I would just say, just in closing, this is kind of a monumental moment. I think it's a significant moment that we'll reflect back on and really I think measure as the point that allowed us to really find additional synergies, find optimizations. And so I just think that this significant investment really has the potential to propel us to do even bigger and better things than what we've heard over the last hour. So thank you all. Please let me know if you need anything. But again, big shout out to Shelton, Alicia, and Brittany, and the rest of the team.
Great. Thank you so much, Keith. Great update. All right, so some quick HR updates. I'm going to let Courtney Matthews, our HR generalist, kick it off first. Oh, Courtney, you are muted.
I am now unmuted. Thank you. Sorry. Yes, so I'll take the first couple of ones. So as you can see, it's my honor to share with everyone that SBP has made the 2022 list of best places to work in New Orleans. Just really quick, this is extra special this year because to give a little background, this year, the questions that they were asking companies to respond to and submit information on was much more extensive than previous years. They asked us questions that they never asked before, like just turnover, diversity among staff, our hiring and employment practices, PTO, just all of that. And of course, there's the anonymous employee survey that was sent from the Best Places team to our New Orleans staff. So this is an even bigger achievement this year and something we should all be proud of. So finger snaps all the way around. Upcoming holidays, I get all the fun stuff. This is not fair. We have Veterans Day coming up, and this is a new one. So this wasn't part of our holidays last year. So this is a very important day. We have lots of veterans on our team. So we will be off this year in remembrance of that. And then we have Thanksgiving and Native American Heritage Day. So mark your calendars. You know, we don't want anyone working when we don't have to work. So that's my part. Kyle, it's on you.
Thank you, Courtney. So wanted to I know we have the shout outs section here coming up soon, but I wanted to do a special shout out to Viviana Ramirez, our AmeriCorps program manager in Puerto Rico. As y'all either may or may not be aware, the last couple of years have been really challenging to hire staff, AmeriCorps members at SBP, outside of SBP, and Viviana got 84% of her 21-22 grant year members enrolled in terms of service. And that is a really incredible number, given the challenges that the job market has posed across the U.S. So just major props for Viviana. And further, I do also want to shout out the AmeriCorps program management team, and including Jessica. I guess in July, we hit our number of application goals for the month. And then in August, we hit our number of first round interview goals for the month. Those are statistics that we know translate into number of offers sent out and number of offers accepted, and ultimately members who join the program. So the hard work that this team has been doing is really starting to pay off, and we can see that in these numbers. Then we'll see second rounds surpassing second round goals, and then we'll see surpassing offers and acceptances. So really great work. Then the last thing I want to mention, we sent out an AmeriCorps engagement survey, or Mike did, our director of AmeriCorps, and participation a little under 50%. We did put a time frame on it, and I think it was due last Friday, if I'm not mistaken. We've opened it back up, and I would just encourage any AmeriCorps members across the organization that haven't had a chance to fill out that survey, and it doesn't take long, please do so. Please do so. Use the rest of today at some point or tomorrow, but get those responses in, because they're really important in how we shape our AmeriCorps program to improve it even further. So please make sure to do that. If your executive director hasn't already sent you an email with that survey link, Mike's email also, you can find that in your inbox, and you can also search for your executive director's email too. All right, so one of my favorite parts of the all-team meeting are shout outs. And I know we're coming up on time almost, but shout outs are for anyone here. Either you can come off of mute or you can type in the chat box. Shout out someone who's living values, who you want to recognize, who you want to appreciate. I will go first, and I want to shout out Kristen in accounting. Kristen did an absolutely impeccable job in creating this internal spreadsheet that we use. I know it's very riveting, to monitor and to process payroll as a checks and balances. And this spreadsheet is massive. There's formulas that I didn't even know existed on it. And it has really streamlined and improved our payroll process. So all of our team members can get paid the right amount at the right time. So Kristen, awesome work. And we'll take just some time for people to do some shout outs, either in chat or on video.
Shout out to Courtney for that killer awards video. Holy cow, that was fantastic. Way to own the route.
Shout out to Brian in Lake Charles for handling much of construction without any AmeriCorps support up until this week. So hopefully now with Karesha there, they're just going to continue to build on all the good things that Brian has been doing since he started with us.
Shout out to the Bahamas team for the huge milestone, 500 homes at the 3-year anniversary. Keep unleashing it. We're building more homes. We're continuing to raise more funding and cause more impact. So I think y'all have unleashed it, and it's amazing that we'll continue to offer rebuilding services now into 2023.
Shout out to Viviana for making the process so smooth as far as the transition. I'm new to Puerto Rico from Texas, so she has helped me tremendously on my transition coming over. So thank you so much.
Hey guys, shout out to the volunteer teams for really digging in and just really working on recruitment to get our volunteer numbers up. And to Alex for her creative ways of marketing volunteer experiences in Houston. and to Jasmine for really looking at practices and ways to improve.
Shout out to the Florida AmeriCorps members for completing their AmeriCorps engagement survey. Thank you. Thank you.
I want to shout out Sam Zivin. I think that's how you say your last name. Sam, I think Laura already said it, but I've worked with a lot of CSCs in the past, and you are one of the by far best CSCs I've ever worked with, and you do a phenomenal job at communicating clearly what is going on with your respective clients. You explain their paperwork. You did a great job today explaining like a client situation. So thank you for that. That makes construction's job a lot easier. I know it makes client services a lot easier. So thank you, Sam, for being really awesome and really great. So keep up the great work. You're a huge asset. So thank you.
Shout out to the Puerto Rico supply and logistics team for making the best of everything that they do. And I also would like to shout out to the Puerto Rico project leads for their amazing creativity.
Shout out to Hannah Eisenstein in Comms and Marketing for just a really beautiful blog post about some of my most favorite clients here in Southwest.
Shout out to Luz Guevara. She's finishing her 4th term. She has done a great impact. So thank you, Luz.
Loving these shout outs, and I will be sure to, yes, absolutely. I will put the, blog post link in the chat. Can someone share the blog post link? Also, when I send out this video to the team, I will be sure to include the chat log, which will have all of the shout outs here because there are way too many for me to read or we'd be here for the rest of the day. All right, fantastic. Well, please feel free to keep those shout outs coming in through the chat. I know we're a little over time. We're going to move to the Q&A session, which I will lead. We didn't have a lot of questions this time around, and what I would encourage you to do is if you do have any questions about SBP, about your site, about what we're doing, shoot me an email. I will be happy to put you in touch with the right person to answer your question. But we did have two really great questions. The first is, what are the lunch and learn topics that we can expect in the future? Well, I am happy to let you know. There are a number throughout the end of the year. So on September 22nd, so coming up next week, Resilient Building Initiatives. On October 13th, Disaster Resilience and Recovery Fellows Program Overview. On October 27th, Best Practices in LinkedIn and Social Media. On November 10th, Individual Giving and our Development Department. And then December 1st is our Advocate Intervention Overview. So we have a lot of really great lunch and learns coming up. I'm also working on assembling kind of an internal document that I will share with you all that has the links to all of our previous lunch and learn videos recorded. They are phenomenal to really give you an understanding of all the different work that we do at SBP. And then the last question that we have is, how is the Puerto Rico site preparing for the current tropical storm that's making its way towards the island? And Edgardo, I would love to invite you to speak to this question, if you would, please, sir.
Thanks, Kyle. And thank you, everyone, for your best wishes. Quick shout out to the ED team for always making sure that we're taking care of each other. So yes, we've been monitoring closely the trajectory of Tropical Storm Fiona. As it approaches this weekend, we expect a lot of heavy rain and wind as a tropical storm. Thankfully, it doesn't look like it's going to intensify to a hurricane. So we're crossing our fingers to that. We have put our storm preparedness plan into action. And each department has their responsibilities, starting with the volunteer department, who already communicated. We had to cancel this Saturday since we expect a lot of rain on Saturday. A group that was coming. So thank you for making sure that the volunteers are communicated. Our client service team has done an excellent job calling oral active clients and in the pipeline to make sure that they understand what's coming, and if they also need any additional resource that we can provide as a team. Our PLs are going to be working hard in making sure that the sites are secure, all our sites are secure, with coordination with the supply and logistics department, which under Javier's leadership has done a great job of making sure that the sites are going to be ready and secure by tomorrow. They're going to make sure that we don't have any, that we have oral tools and materials securing inside the houses, and that everything else we can take back to the warehouse. And they're also making sure that the warehouse is safe and secure. So that's kind of a brief of what we've been doing. We're also gonna keep informing the team of any updates on the storm. We have our contact list ready. We have our WhatsApp group chat. Thank you also to Adrian, who recently shared a list of government sponsor refugees in case someone needs to access these. As we know, we live in an island, so we can evacuate. So we'll be keeping in contact with each other. And thank you for the leadership of the national team. I've been in constant communication with Thomas, letting him know everything that's happening, and they're also making sure that we're taking care of here. So thank you.
Great, Edgardo, thank you. We will certainly be sending our thoughts to you and your team and family members and friends. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. But great job in getting the team there ready to weather the storm. Thank you. All right, so with that, I just want to thank everyone for your attention on this meeting, attendance and attention. I know we covered a lot. I am going to, again, be sending this out, the link to the video and the chat log. So if you want to watch it again, please, by all means, there was lots of information to soak in. So with that, have a wonderful rest of your Thursday and a great closeout to your week. Have a good day. Take care, everybody.